Alright guys, so today I want to compare two different watch brands, and both of these brands are, I would say, fairly competitive with each other in the same space. So they're both based in Geneva, Switzerland, and they both kind of compete in the affordable luxury space, which is like mostly around $1,000 to $3,000 around there. I mean, they make watches outside of that range, but that's the majority of their bread and butter. Uh, I guess they do most of their business. $1,000, $3,000, affordable luxury is what they call it. So yeah, one is Frederique Constant. This is a Swiss company that was started in 1988. Originally, the name is from the co-founders, the two founders. They took their great grandparents' names, I guess, and put them together. But yeah, Frederique Constant started in '88. Now actually they're owned by Citizen. So believe it or not, they're owned by the Japanese watch company Citizen. Not independent anymore, but they're still highly respected, I guess. And then Raymond Weil is the other one I want to look at and compare. So Raymond Weil started in 1976, a little bit older than Frederique Constant. But yeah, they're also based in Geneva, and they're actually still independent, family owned. So in comparison to Frederique Constant, which is now owned by Citizen, Raymond Weil still family owned, still independent, which is kind of rare actually in the Swiss watch industry, because now a lot of Swiss brands now are owned by like Swatch and Richemont and other companies. So it's cool to see like an independent Swiss watch company still out there. So yeah, we can compare the two because I think both of these watch brands are really good at making dress watches. And really, I think Frederique Constant's strength is in their dress watches. We're just going to take a look at some of their collections right here. So if you look, Frederique Constant doesn't have a lot of collections. They just have manufacturer, high life, and classics. Manufacturer just means they're using their in-house movement, which is one of the strengths of Frederique Constant. Now, I'm not saying in-house movement is better, but in terms of horological prestige, making an in-house movement means that you have the expertise, to do something like that in-house instead of outsourcing or using a different movement from another manufacturer like ETA or Solita. So yeah, I think Frederique Constant, the fact is they are known for using in-house movements. I mean, they do use like stock movements as well, but they are known for their manufacturer line, which is using their in-house movements, and that definitely gives them a little bit of a boost when it comes to the watch aficionado circle, the horological circle. People do talk about them using, like, this is a tourbillon, right? They make a tourbillon costing $37,500. So they do go pretty high end with this stuff, and I think that because they go higher end with this manufacturer stuff, that's why I think in general I'm seeing people prefer, like, saying Frederique Constant is a higher end brand than Raymond Weil. So Raymond Weil doesn't really make too much of its own movements. It only makes one, I think, which is the Freelancer. So this is probably their most expensive watch here, $4,000. That's the higher end of Raymond Weil's, $4,000. Whereas Frederique Constant goes all the way up to like $37,000 here with the tourbillon, right? So in terms of the high end, yeah, you can say Frederique Constant does go a bit higher. I mean, they have more in-house movements. They make tourbillons and stuff. That's pretty much as high end as you're going to get when it comes to Swiss watches. So yeah, I guess that's why when you look at these two brands and compare them, I think they're very comparable when it comes to their affordable luxury range. But of course, if you go higher end, then Frederique Constant is going to win because, yeah, they just have more expertise with the in-house movements. They have tourbillons and stuff like that. So they definitely go higher end. But I want to take a look at just looking at the same price range. Okay, we all know Frederique Constant goes higher end than Raymond Weil. Raymond Weil's highest is like $4,000, 5,000, whatever. So we're just going to look at their affordable luxury stuff. So actually, they're a slimline moon phase, which retails for $4,700. You can actually find it for substantially less than that. So later on in this video, I'll actually show you guys my slimline moon phase, which I got for only $1,500. So I got it at a substantial discount from this. You can actually find these for a lot cheaper. And when you do, they're like pretty much a steal, right? Like, I don't know any other watchmaker with this kind of in-house movement, and I mean, I'll show you guys later on. If you get it at discount online, 1,500 or 2,000 bucks for like a piece that's really like 4,000 bucks. Yeah, it's really a steal, and that's why Frederique Constant is like, it's one of the best value brands out there if you can get these at a good deal. So as you can see, most of their watches are really dress watches. So their entire collection is basically like dress watches. If you look at the whole collection here, so Frederique Constant's specialty, I would say, is dress watches, and they're really, really good at that. They make some of the best looking dress watches on the market, in my opinion. I mean, just some of these just look really, really nice. Yeah, so it's just a whole bunch of dress watches here, you can see. So I would say if you're looking for like a really good value dress watch that looks really nice, that's Frederique Constant's kind of wheelhouse there. That's their specialty. So yeah, especially when it comes to the manufacturers, if you can get one of these cheap online, then it's pretty much a steal. And then coming over to Raymond Weil, you can see that Raymond Weil has not just dress watches, but a wider variety in designs. So they have chronographs here. They have more sporty looking designs, right? They have some diver watches with the bezels here. So they definitely have more variety in their designs compared to Frederique Constant. So whereas Frederique Constant's specialty is dress watches, Raymond Weil, they have a nice variety, but they also make nice dress watches too. And that's where I think they do directly compete, is with their Maestro line and Freelancer line is where they do compete with the dress watches. So yeah, you can take a look. Yeah, they do have some interesting pieces, like this Freelancer. This is their in-house movement, the RW1212, where they have the balance wheel at the 6 o'clock position. That's their own movement they did actually in collaboration with Sellita. So I think these ones are pretty interesting. But yeah, these are the dress watches. These are the watches I think that compete with Frederique Constant. So yeah, that's where I think they're actually fairly comparable in that range. I think if it comes to that, if you can find one of these slimline moon phases at a discount, that's probably the better deal. But if you can't, then I would say they're fairly comparable. Like this will be like one of the classic Frederique Constant dressy pieces, right? Let's say that it's the heartbeat moon phase date. You can find something similar from Raymond Weil with the Freelancer, right? So this is at 2,800, and I can find yeah, like this one, the Freelancer Caliber Rose Gold. It's 2,400, so fairly similarly priced, and I would say they're pretty like equivalent in terms of the feature set, the quality, and everything. Like I have watches from both brands, so I would say they're fairly equivalent in quality, as long as you don't get one of those manufacturer ones at a discount. Like that's like a different level. But if you get one of their regular pieces from Frederique Constant, they're fairly similar and comparable to Raymond Weil, I would say. So yeah, this one is actually their own movement. So I think this one is not. This is not Frederique Constant's own movement. So yeah, this movement is it's just a Sellita SW200. So actually in this case, I don't know. I would actually lean towards the Raymond Weil in this case. But you know, I think they're fairly comparable in terms of the looks and everything. This one has a moon phase. This one just it has a very interesting balance wheel though. This one. So this one's the balance wheel here is very a little bit bland, I guess. I like the Raymond Weil better for the design on that one. And yeah, so you can see like these ones, the Maestros or whatever, they're pretty competitive with the Frederique Constant, and yeah, like fairly comparable, I'd say, at this price range. So that's why I kind of want to do like a comparison. Which one should you guys get at this price range? Really depends. I think if you were really looking for a dress watch, so I would say if you can find one of the slimline watches at a discount, then that's probably the one to get, because that's going to be better quality, I think, than any of these watches here. But if you can't, then it's pretty comparable, right? I would say, like, yeah, the Frederique Constant has more designs for dress watches. So if you're looking for just dress watches, Frederique Constant is going to have more designs. That's their specialty. Whereas Raymond Weil, they have some similar dress watches in terms of design, but they also have more other kinds of designs too that's not dressy. So if you're looking for a non-dress watch, then Raymond Weil is probably the way to go here. I mean, they have these chronographs and divers, right, which Frederique Constant doesn't really do. So one more thing is I want to say, if you guys like moon phases, which I think is a nice complication to have on a dress watch. I think that Frederique Constant's moon phases are really nicely done. So my slimline moon phase and the other moon phases, the non-manufacturer moon phases even, are pretty nicely done. So this is their heartbeat moon phase date. Yeah, I think Frederique Constant makes some of the best moon phases on the market. I would say only Molle Glashütte, which is actually even more expensive, and my Ferrer, which I got actually because of that moon phase. That was just kind of a new watch that just came out. Aside from those, I think Frederique Constant makes some of the best moon phases I've seen, especially for this price range. Whereas the Raymond Wales moon phase is a little bit more, I want to say generic. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, the Raymond Wales moon phase is fine, but it's just, I prefer Frederique Constant's moon phase. I think it looks a little bit more interesting, right? You can compare. Yeah, I think the one on the Frederique Constant is a little bit more interesting for me. But anyways, maybe that's personal preference. I prefer Frederique Constant's moon phases. If you're going for a moon phase, I would go for that. Raymond Wales moon phase is fine, yeah, but I think Frederique Constant's moon phase is one of the best on the market, especially at this price range. So I would say, yeah, it comes down to your preference there and what kind of watch that you want. So yeah, and then now I'm gonna actually show you guys my Frederique Constant and Raymond Weil and do like a brief comparison of that. Right guys, so now I have my Frederique Constant and my Raymond Weil. These are two different models that I actually got for around the same price. Got them both for around 1,500 US. Although they're not really comparable exactly because the Frederique Constant is a slimline moon phase that I got at that price, and that I got at a heavy discount from the original price, which as you guys have seen is really over $4,000. But still, we're going to compare them because you can buy these for around similar prices online right now. So this is the Frederique Constant Slimline Moon Phase. This is the Raymond Weil Beatles Let It Be Limited Edition. They're a little bit different because, you know, I'm not going to get two watches that are really similar, but I can say that they're both kind of dress watches. So that's the similarity here, and that I got them at similar prices. So I'm going to take a look. First of all, I do like the box for the Frederique Constant better. So this box is a little bit more premium looking, whereas the Raymond Weil box looks more like something you'd get from an electronics manufacturer, like Apple or, you know, Google or something. So yeah, that's just something to know. Or Samsung, you know, it just comes in like kind of a generic looking box. Whereas, yeah, Frederique Constant's box looks a bit more premium. All right, so you open it up, and this is not the original watch band for the Frederique Constant, by the way. I changed it out for a Milanese strap. I liked it a little bit better, but I do have the leather band for comparison. So this is what the leather band looks like. This is the Frederique Constant logo here on that one, and it came with this original like blue leather strap. Once you put it on here, it definitely looks more dressy. But yeah, I put the Milanese loop because I wanted it to be a little bit more versatile. So anyways, I kept the original leather strap for the Raymond Weil though. All right. Okay, so yep, here they are, two of them. Again, I would consider these both dressier pieces. This one doesn't look like that right now because I have this band on, but once you swap in the original blue leather strap, then it definitely looks more dressy. So one thing of note, the Slimline Moon Phase, definitely the larger watch here. It's a 42 millimeters, whereas the Raymond Weil Beatles is like a 39.5 or 40 millimeter. Definitely smaller, but you know, both good for dressier occasions. I do say that if you're going for dressier watches, smaller, a little bit smaller might be better, but in this case, FC is just really good at making these really dressier looking pieces. So I think they're both fine. In terms of the dial, it's interesting. Well, they're both like very different, obviously. So this is a moon phase, and like I said, Frederique Constant is one of the best moon phases in the business, especially in this price range. Like I said, the only brands I think have made a maybe arguably better one is Molle Glashütte and Ferrer. Those are the only ones I think under $5,000 that I've seen that can even compare. But yeah, it's done really nicely, and this is a slimline moon phase dial, so it doesn't have a seconds hand. It's just kept really minimalistic and simplistic like that, and I think that's part of the reason why I found this this design really it's just really clean looking, right? It's so clean looking because it doesn't have that seconds hand, and everything is just very compact. So it has one kind of sub-dial thing around here, but it's actually just a moon phase with a date indicator around there. So it's done in a really compact, clean looking way. Like, so this design is really nice, I think. The Roman numerals are printed on the dial, and yeah, it just says, it's just done in a really like simplistic, minimalist way, I should say. Yeah, minimalist sounds better. It's done in a really minimalist way where it's just really clean looking design. The crown is this onion crown here that Frederique Constant is known for. I really like it. It's, yeah, you can see the amount of detail that they paid attention to in the edges and stuff. Of course, finishing, polishing, everything is really nice. Detail, especially on the moon phase, is done really well. You can see that moon, the stars and everything, along with that blue background. Okay, now the special thing about the slimline manufacturer, this one is from their manufacturer line, which is their higher priced line that they use their in-house movements. Now, like I said, in-house movements doesn't mean it's better, but it does mean that they can kind of make their own designs, and they can decorate their movements a bit more. So that's why when you look at the back, you can see that this is one of the most decorated movements I have, probably the most decorated movement I have in my collection. So out of all my watches, yeah, the Frederique Constant is the most decorated in terms of the movement. I mean, just look at this. It's just gorgeous, right? The way that FC decorated the movement here. So this is what you get when you get their manufacturer pieces. So I would say it's not like better in terms of accuracy or anything like that, but in terms of what they can do with their movement, and you guys can see like how much more decorated it could be. And yeah, it's not the only in-house movement watch I have. I have the Nomos Glashütte as well. Seiko obviously also makes its in-house movements, but I will say that the Frederique Constant is the most decorated movement I have. It's yeah, it's pretty amazing, right? Compare this to my $2,000 Seiko Presage. You can see the movement is not that decorated at all, but that's, like I said, I think Japanese manufacturers or companies don't focus too much on decorating the movement. It's just, this is very below average actually for a $2,000 watch. It's just very minimal in terms of the decoration of the movement, but that's because Japanese watchmakers tend to focus on the dial instead of the movement. But yeah, when it comes to Frederique Constant, if you get one of their manufacturer pieces, this is pretty amazing. So yeah, that's the FC. Compare this to the Raymond Weil. So if you look at the dial, it's very different, obviously. This is a partial skeleton, and this is a limited edition watch because the Beatles let it be. They make a few different versions of Beatles watches. They make other collaborations with them. This is the one I like the best because, ironically, it doesn't scream the Beatles that much. Like, it doesn't have anything on here besides the name that would indicate that it's the Beatles, and that's actually why I like it. It's a little bit more versatile that way. It only has the 4 index markers here because there's 4 members of the band, and then this cutout shape here, the skeleton, partial skeleton I should say, because it's done in the shape of the UK. You might not even know that if I didn't tell you guys, but it's done in the shape of the UK, and the all the seconds hand, hour hand, minutes hand is right in the middle, where supposedly that's where the location of Liverpool is. So yeah, that's done in that way. It's got an anthracite dial compared to the Frederique Constant's midnight blue dial. That's just a preference thing, but it does have applied indices here, and I just think that this skeletonized movement is really unique because I've never seen a partially skeletonized movement done in this way. I think this is the only watch where I've seen this kind of cutout for a skeleton movement, because it's specifically done in the shape of the UK, so that's pretty unique. So yeah, original leather strap. You guys can compare the logos here. I think the Frederique Constant one, I prefer generally a little bit more. This is just the RW, that's it. Yeah, so I prefer the Frederique Constant's maybe strap buckle a bit more. The actual quality of leather straps is pretty similar, I think. Crown wise, yeah, I also prefer Frederique Constant. This is just like a more simple yeah, more simple grooves on this crown and just says RW on here. Whereas with the Frederique Constant, you get this nice onion crown here. Doesn't have their name on it or their logo, but it's a nice onion crown, which I think it looks a little bit more detailed compared to this one. Yeah. And yeah, I would say otherwise, the detail, the finishing, polish is pretty similar between these two. But the back, right, so the Raymond Weil has the Beatles kind of name kind of just screen here on the back. I don't really like that. I think it would be better if they just took this out. Yeah, this is a little bit too much. I would kind of rather see like the movement a little bit better, but they have this in the way. And then this is the RW4215 caliber. It's a Sellita SW200 based movement, so it's not in-house. It's just based on a Sellita. That's not to say it's worse or anything like that. You know, ETA Sellita makes very reliable movements. SW200 is a very time-tested, reliable movement that a lot of watch manufacturers, including my Oris, also uses the same one. So it's just yeah, it's a tried and tested movement. But also means it's not quite as decorated as the Frederique Constant is. You can see it is decorated though, right? You can definitely see there is yeah, it's actually got a decent amount of decoration, definitely more than the Seiko I just showed here, but just not to the same level as the Frederique Constant. So you can compare, right? Yeah, there's just no comparison here. The Frederique Constant's way more decorated compared to the Raymond Weil. But again, a little bit unfair, right, in this comparison, because this watch technically retailed for over $4,000. It's just you can find it online for around $1,500. But then you can also find this watch. I got this watch for around $1,500 too. So they are around the same price range if you can buy it online. So yeah, even though this one technically retails for higher. So it really comes down to yeah, like I said, Frederique Constant or Raymond Weil depends on, first of all, are you looking for a dress watch? If you're looking for a dress watch, Frederique Constant has more varieties and styles of dress watches. That's what they're focused on. That's their specialty. If you're looking for, decent dress watches, but you're also looking for other styles as well, then Raymond Weil has more variety. I would also say that Raymond Weil designs tend to be a little bit more experimental. So especially if you like musicians and music like I do, they do a lot of collaborations with other bands too, not just Beatles. Like they've done collaborations with David Bowie, AC/DC. I think they did one with Jimi Hendrix as well. So they have a few different collaborations and stuff like that. So they're actually known for collaborating with musicians. So if you like music and stuff, Raymond Weil would also be a nice pick for that. And yeah, they just have a few more experimental designs compared to Frederique Constant, which tends to be a little bit more on the conservative side, but they've done really well actually with the dress watches even then. So you can see like all the designs on their website were really elegant, classy looking designs. Raymond Weil has that, but also a little bit more experimental as well with some of their designs. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I would say if you can get these both around the same price, the Frederique Constant at the same price for this manufacturer, yeah, it's got more decoration in the movement. It's an in-house. I would say overall it's a higher quality watch, but if you can't get the manufacturer and you just get the regular version, like the non-manufacturer watch, then it's pretty comparable. Then it really just comes down to which design that you like better, right? Because at the same price, like originally, they're fairly comparable. Just Frederique Constant has more designs for dress watches, and Raymond Weil a little bit more versatile, a little bit more experimental with their designs. But then if you can find the manufacturer watches at this price, then the Frederique Constant is probably the better buy. So that's what it comes down to, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Raymond Weil or Frederique Constant. Overall, I think if you look online on the forums and stuff like that, Frederique Constant generally gets more praise compared to Raymond Weil. People kind of look down on Raymond Weil a bit because, well, compared to Frederique Constant, they don't make as many in-house movements. They don't go as up in price, right? Like I said, Frederique Constant makes tourbillons and stuff like that, $30,000, $40,000. Raymond Weil doesn't do that. They're both kind of department store brands, but that's not to say it's a bad thing. I mean, Rolex and Omega, Tag Heuer, they're all department store brands, right? Nothing wrong with that. But just people kind of look down at Raymond Weil because they kind of associate it with fashion watches, which isn't fair. Like, this is Raymond Weil is a genuine horological brand. Like they're not Michael Kors, they're not Armani, they're not those like fashion brands. They're a legit like watchmaker. They're still family owned and operated, right? So and based in Geneva for the whole time. So yeah, same as Frederique Constant, both based in Geneva, right? So Geneva is the center of watchmaking. That's where Patek Philippe is. That's where Rolex is. That's where Chopard is. So yeah, they're legit. So I think that Raymond Weil sometimes can get underrated or overlooked because of that. They just have that reputation of looking like a fashion watch, even though they're not. And their pieces don't go as high up, and they only have like one in-house movement. Frederique Constant has quite a few in-house movements, and they go up much higher. Ironically, Raymond Weil does have the longer history, but anyways, I would think that for the same price, MSRP, if you're looking at both watches around the same price range, they are comparable. But if you can find a good discount on a Frederique Constant, go for that. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Frederique Constant FC versus Raymond Weil RW. I think these are, if you're looking for a dress watch on the market, yeah, these two are definitely ones you should look at, especially if your budget is around the affordable luxury range, which is around $1,000 to $3,000. Definitely check these two brands out. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.